Awesome. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Life with Marielle. I am so excited today for this episode where we're going to be talking about how to embody your prettiest self on camera with my friend Amy Wall, who is also this product maven, beauty expert. She's actually the founder of Higher Self. It's called Higher Self Beauty, correct?
Yes.
And I'm really excited because I feel like one of the biggest reasons that women hold themselves back from actually sharing their message, and I know this is true because it was true for me, is not feeling confident enough to show up on camera, whether it's like, I'm waiting to lose 5 more pounds, or I just don't like the way I look on camera. I don't like the way I sound on camera. I feel like it all comes from the same place. So, Amy, before I go on any further, I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself here to everyone and tell us a little bit about, about yourself and your background.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here, and I hope that every woman watching is able to take away a little nugget that helps her, feel more confident in front of the camera, but also just feel more comfortable in her own skin. I'm an award-winning skincare expert, as you mentioned. I've been practicing a type of beauty consciousness since I was about 12 or 13 years old. I'm 53 now, so that's a 40-year history and experience of really combining topical ingredients, visualizations, energy, and working on myself at the self-image level, which is really where all the magic happens, as you probably know, being a business coach who specializes in helping women, create their own signature show and show up and shine online. So I'm also a bit of a visibility coach because I really help women understand what makes them sparkle and help them really find, what ingredients, topical skincare ingredients, what frequencies, what energies, and really what and how and who is really inside of the body at the self-concept, identity, and image level.
Yeah, well, welcome. I'm really excited. It's not every day that I come across someone who is not only someone totally embodying their message, which you do. You're so beautiful, and it's really like beautiful to see. I can really see your light. And if you're catching this on the replay, say hi. If you're joining us live, say hello. Let us know what kind of questions you may have regarding, showing up as a most confident self, showing up on camera, even like I know you're going to give us some tips and tricks on, what to do with our skin. But one of the things that I really love about you, Amy, is that you're really a visionary. Not everyone, there's a lot of pretty taglines out there in the beauty world, embody your pretty, but you really, and I know this because I've experienced it from you, you really have this concept, this very soulful, quantum type of energy beauty concept that I have never seen before. And I think it's very brave to set out on your own and say, I'm going to do this because this is what I believe in. It's so futuristic.
Yeah, I call myself a beauty.
They may call you like the mother of something in terms of energy because it's so different. It's vastly different. And at the same time, I have 2 of your products, which I am a little bit of a product freak. I love, searching for products that are natural and effective. And I love yours. They're so real. It's not just like tree hugging, put banana on your face type of thing, which I have nothing against, but they're very effective and they're beautiful and they're amazing. So I really admire that about you as a businesswoman, as a visionary, and also as someone who's really honoring your vision. So just to get everyone caught up on that, because that was a lot. um, tell us about, let's talk about your philosophy of beauty and skincare in terms of energetics and what that even means.
Yeah, thank you. And I wanted to appreciate you for mentioning my bravery, because it has not been an easy road to go against the the big beauty complex or the beauty matrix. And I have been doing this, I have really gone out on a limb here for the last 10 years or so with my messaging, and really um, have a soul mission to help women, especially energetically sensitive women,
Yeah.
have an alternative to what is presented to us in terms of the lasers and the injections and the surgeries. Now, I also want to really be clear. I have no problem with that. I actually I have a personal story about, yeah, using a lot of Botox back in the day, and we can talk about that. But my philosophy is that it's really the woman who's the missing ingredient in all of their skincare products, and she's got to start creating a vision for herself that her biology can then follow, really using the concepts of the biology of belief. And an analogy is that if you were to go to build your dream home and you just hired a carpenter but did not hire the architect, then how dreamy would that house actually be? Because it's not the hammer and the nails and the boards that can build this house. It has to have the blueprints first, and it has to have the vision. So it's our job, if we truly want to change our skin, it's our job to spend some time in consciousness, on a maybe a weekly basis, which is what I teach, and then, practice it a little bit every day when you're in the mirror, so that you can actually build the face and the body of your dreams without cutting or injecting or burning your skin, which is the current paradigm, which actually doesn't even work. And if you're energetically sensitive, it doesn't work. And that's why you're always, looking for the next best thing, because the whole entire beauty industry is built on smoke and mirrors. I want to
Mm,
circle back to your compliment on my products and really tell you why they're different than any other product on the market. And that is because, well, first, I am an insider in the cosmetic formulation industry. I was mentored by the scientist and formulator who discovered the peptide for the cosmetics industry. As we know, peptides are, been the next big thing for the last few years, but they actually go way back. They're used in all sorts of medical procedures. They're short chain amino acids that can turn on the cellular function. So I have a very strong cosmetic formulation background, and my products are made by a compounding pharmacist, not a chemist. So if you imagine that most products that you buy off the shelf or even off the internet, they're made in huge quantities at a laboratory, then they're packaged in a bottle, even if they're clean and natural or green or whatever that means, which actually means absolutely nothing legally. They have to have some sort of preservative in it to make sure that they can handle going from warehouse to
right.
shelf to shelf. And mine are actually made in very small batches and then shipped directly to you. And so when you put it on, you can feel immediately like, oh, this is like feeding my
Instantly.
skin. Yeah.
Instantly. This liquid light, I don't know if you
Yeah.
can see what I'm talking about. It is insane. Like it makes you glow,
It
literally.
makes you glow, and a little goes a long way. So that, I have a very strong, also passion to have women stop using so many products. We don't need so many products. And that those two products are going to last you 3 months. The cleanser you might go through more quickly depending
Love it.
on, because you wear makeup for being on, being on camera and stuff, and it's great for melting the makeup off. But your product should be lasting a really long time. There was a study by Vaseline that was commissioned actually in conjunction with MIT. And they found that the average American woman is throwing away
Hmm.
up to $100,000 in unused, unwanted skincare products and,
Yep.
and makeup products in their lifetime. So really, that's what's at stake. We talk about, the economy having a downturn and things like that. Well, you don't have to be spending so much money on these things anyway. So that's my little mini rant.
I love it. I love it. Well, one of the things that I really believe in, a lot of my students and people who buy your signature show product, which helps women, and specifically very soulful entrepreneurs, experts, creatives launch their own signature show. And what holds them back is like this lack of confidence in how they look,
Yeah.
and it's actually so much deeper than just skin deep, right? Like I remember when I first launched my coaching business, and after I was a mother and I was no longer this like, young 20-year-old, because I remember back in college I actually used to do some modeling, and I just did it. It was on camera, and it was so easy. I was like, whatever. I'd rather do this than, and it was nothing fancy, trust me. But,
Yeah.
I was able to just get some summer jobs, making some extra money. And I didn't have any self-consciousness. I was just like, whatever, just pay me. and, and once I became a mother and I didn't look like that anymore. And, I was much younger, but I was so self-conscious, and I literally practiced going on camera. It feels like over a year. And I was like, why? I used to do this. Why do I feel this way? And when it came down to it, it was all these old stories that I had grown up with about what beauty looks like, what it should look like, what being on camera looks like. And and I grew up with, bless her heart, I love my mother and she's amazing, but she was like really strict about what needs to happen as a woman. And having your nail, it's summer and I'm at the beach. I live at the beach in the summer, and I don't get my nails done in the summer. But if she saw me right now, she would freak. She'd be like, oh my God, how could you walk around like that? So I grew up with a lot of those little things. And so I always felt like, well, I should look good, nice every day. But if I'm on camera, it needs to be even like 10 times more the effort. And I have to say that I really had to go down the rabbit hole to analyze a lot of those mindsets to finally come on the other side and say, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that important. And I wrote this sentence down before we actually got on camera today and on this live stream, on what it is that I really believe about beauty and our face. And the truth is that how everything is energy, and how we flow that energy into our body through our thoughts and things that we do really does show up on our face.
Yeah. Your skin is a printout. Your face is literally your operating system here. Your skin is a printout of your consciousness. So everything that you felt, said, did, drank, ate in the past is really what you're seeing here in the present. And in order to create this better future face, it's really about examining all of those beliefs and stories, as you mentioned. And thank you for sharing that, because that dovetails in perfectly with some of the work that I do, which is to examine the epigenetics, the environment you were raised in, and to examine really the beliefs that you've inherited, not only from maybe a living mother, but all of your matriarchal ancestry. Because here's something that we don't get taught, and I don't know if there's one giant gatekeeper of all this information, but It's literally the mitochondria that power the little battery pack of our cells. Follow me here for just a moment. The mitochondria are an ancient life form. They're a bacteria that we have evolved a symbiotic relationship with. They power us energetically, okay? And they have their own genome, which means they have their own consciousness. They're the bacteria that we inherit from our mother. So when you give birth and you put the baby on your chest, and the first breastfeeding, the colostrum, that's all of the mitochondria and the bacteria that are getting sort of imbued, and that's how it works. And we are inheriting those from our mother, the mother's mother. So if we never take the opportunity to say, who does this belong to, then we could just be going around having all these erroneous beliefs about ourselves that aren't even true. And we don't have to reject these women in our lives. We just have to say, return to sender, and then we return to center. And then we get to choose how we believe about ourselves, because I could be going around saying, oh, I'm 53, I'm a has-been, my skin is going to collapse, or everything could be changing. And I just don't have those beliefs, and I never have, because I've been doing this for so long. For some reason, this started happening. I started doing all this when I was about 13. So as you can see, I'm in my 50s. I live at the beach full time. I don't wear sunscreen. I grew up in Mexico and Hawaii. I have never worn sunscreen. I don't get any lasers. I don't have any Botox, no filler, no retinol, no acid. I literally don't do anything. I just work on my own beliefs, and my belief creates my body.
That's exactly right. It's like your belief, your thoughts. I was looking at, and I don't do this often, and not that I don't recommend it, but let me tell you what I don't do often.
Yeah.
But I have done it, and that's why I did it as like, let me see. It's kind of like when you go and look at your journals from 5 years ago, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I can't believe where I am today, right? Like, but I started looking at some of my older videos from like when I first started being more visible and sharing my message, and I could see in my face the lack of sleep. I could see the worry and anxiety. I could see the booze I drank the night before.
Mm.
I could see, I could see all of those little things. It's really interesting. And
Yeah.
when I come now, I'm a lot older than what I was when I first started. And I've transformed a lot of those things and worked on those things. And it's the same face, but I can see the energetic difference.
Yes.
And it's interesting because I can go back and look and say, what would I have to say to that girl? And it was so easy all along. It's like, the Wizard of Oz. What was the whole big saying? It was with you all along, or something
Yes.
like.
Yeah.
And it really starts with self-acceptance.
It starts with self-acceptance. And I think that, just mentioning the drinking, and, you and I share an alcohol-free lifestyle. But that goes back to like these coping mechanisms that, sometimes women are, there's no shame. Alcohol's addictive for everybody. And if anybody is struggling with alcohol out there, there's this awesome book called This Naked Mind.
Yes, that's the book that did it for me.
I recommend for everybody, because it really takes the shame and the stigma out of, that you have a disease or anything like that. It's really just that we get told and sold all of these stories about what we need to do to cope as women. And if you're a working mom who wants to have a side hustle, who's going to start a signature show, it's really tempting. Oh my gosh, 3 glasses of wine and I won't feel the jitters of what I'm going to do tomorrow. But in terms of being able to feel comfortable on camera and growing into your face, that's another thing they don't tell us. We actually get prettier as we get older. What? we're growing into our beauty. And so, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, embodying who you really are.
Yeah,
And
and feeling and feeling comfortable to be visible, because being visible at a cellular level does not feel safe for women. We are still working on our cave woman, mitochondria and our DNA programming of scarcity and not being safe. Because if you get out there and you know you're out there,
get
you can
ousted
become a
from
prey.
the tribe.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's still that's one of the things that I love the most about what I do is that you know, I work with a lot of coaches and therapists and experts, and they have so many gifts to share. But the only way that you can do it online to be able to do it from home and not just by referral, so you have to share and know how to market yourself.
mm,
And part of that is being visible. And believe it or not, I have this inside of the live stream academy and in the mastermind, we do this 30-day visibility challenge where they do a video every day for 30 days. And
mm,
I have seen women heal from that
mm.
more than anything. I'm like, oh my God. I have one client that started doing her visibility challenge and never finished. She's on like day 385. So because it's so liberating to actually allow yourself to be seen, heard, and felt.
Okay.
Someone's asking, can you drop the name of that book? I didn't quite hear it and would love to. Okay, yes, the book is called This Naked Mind. Um,
And grace.
and just so you all know, I have no judgment, and I'm sure Amy either with people who drink. I used to sell wine for a living.
Oh,
At one point, it was one of my chapters in my book. The time I sold wine, so I'm a real wine snob. Like I love the smell of it. I went to wine. They sent me to wine school, and I traveled around and all these vineyards, and so I think it's a beautiful thing. But I will say that my life sober is 10 times more beautiful and enjoyable and like empowering than I ever thought possible.
that's
Like,
cool.
I never feel like I am missing out on anything. If anything, I just feel like, this is so like life is so much more fun.
Yeah, and we look better.
Oh my God. The difference it has made on my skin
Yeah,
is insane.
absolutely.
Insane. Um, so, what are some tips and tricks for those of us that are trying to look better on camera? And, what are some things that we can do?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think it's about really knowing what makes you feel pretty. So if you've ever had that experience where you walked into a room and everybody just turned to look and that was like, oh, that felt really good to have the attention, there's no shame in that, because going online, showing up and shining online is the same as having everybody in the room turn to look at you. So really embracing that concept and remembering a time that you felt that way. And if you never felt that way, then just practicing and, finding out what colors that, you feel the best in. Um, Coming up with signature jewelry. These are these
Beautiful.
are earrings that I wear every time I live stream, and they're literally like having lighting on my face, because they shimmer, they light my face up, and I feel really pretty in them. So I wear them to every live video.
I love it.
Maybe even coming up with a little bit of a uniform that makes you feel pretty. It's all about the feeling first, then you can radiate it. Lighting. I have a very specific place where I live stream. It's always right here. I've got a lighted mirror behind me. I don't use a ring light because I don't like the way that it puts a circle into my eyes, but everybody has their own preference. I'm also in front of a window. I
Yes.
have a very specific setup. So I know that I can just, if you invite me to come to a live stream, then I can just scoot in and get here and sparkle and shine. Also, let's see what else. Practicing just putting a video on yourself and talking in front of the video first can give you some confidence. But the biggest thing is to not be attached to having it be perfect, because it's actually the imperfectness that attracts other people to you.
Oh,
And
remember
you
that.
know, just being able to just kind of let your guard down and be yourself. And like you said, the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah,
And skin wise, I mean, there's lots of stuff to talk about with skin, and I don't think we have time to go into it here. But just know that just you showing up and shining and sharing your gifts just gives every other woman permission to do the same. And it's really sort of this game of practice, really. That's
that's
those are
it.
my those are
It
my
really
thoughts.
is. Confidence is not something that we are all born with.
Yeah.
And we all have a different level of confidence and different confident in different areas. But when it comes to showing up on camera or in live streams or in videos, it really truly is about confidence. And I remember my best friend and I used to be in business together, and she was never wanting to be on camera or on stage, and so it was always me. And we used to first do a lot. We had an organization, a big organization, membership organization. Um, at first, we did a lot of live events, and then eventually, I was like tired of doing these live events, and so we were like, okay, let's do on camera and via live streams or whatever. And I used to suck so much, and I would tell her, I don't care. I'm gonna suck until one day I don't suck that much anymore, and that's that. And she used to crack up at me because it's true. Like, you have to be willing to just face that fear, do it anyway, and keep doing it over and over and over. And eventually you become more real about the struggle or whatever, just become more real in general.
Yeah.
And that alone helps you show up authentically. Someone inside of the group yesterday, I think her name was Michelle, she posted her recent, she just started her signature show and she posted it, and she was sharing how grateful she is that, I guess I said this in one of the other episodes, how when you're doing a live stream, you just have to own it if you're afraid, and say at the beginning, you know what, guys, this is my first live stream and I'm really excited to be here, but I'm also really nervous. I am not a professional actress or whatever. So I do have something really cool to share with you. Like, just owning whatever it is you're going through on camera is authenticity. You know,
Yes.
if you just tell people, I am not that confident on here yet, so bear with me. Let me tell you, that makes you more attractive than trying to come on and pretending to be something you're not.
Yeah.
And eventually, you keep doing that over and over and over, and your brain starts to formulate this pattern, new wave pattern,
Yeah.
and it becomes a habit. And one day
Absolutely.
you can just show up in your power, and your inner power is magnetic. It
Yeah.
will show in your face.
Yeah.
And all it takes is like a lot of self-love and loving yourself more than not.
And I wanted to share something about, the different platforms and being visible. I mean, when you do a signature show, you got people that already love you. They're already, followers of your page. They're going to be watching. They're already interested in your subject. And if you get practiced on that, and then maybe you decide you're going to go into something like TikTok
Mhm.
or, I don't even know, YouTube or something where you don't have your audience already really set. I just wanted to share an invitation to a mindset for anybody that does get onto a new platform and then perhaps has a video that goes viral. I'm speaking from personal experience. I had a video go viral on TikTok. It has, I think, almost 700,000 views right now. It
Wow.
has over 1,000 comments on it, some of which are really, really, really mean. And how I used that to not only help me be even more visible, because once I got through that, I was like, wow, this is actually so powerful, because even people judging you, if you're putting yourself out there and people are judging, you're still receiving, right? So the more you can receive, the more you can receive. And if you can
Mm.
unhook your value from that and just realize it has nothing to do with you, you can actually become even more visible. So it's just like I actually was able to be very grateful for every comment and like, wow, like I can receive this. I don't have to hide from it. I can actually say
Love
my
that.
opinions. I can go out and say because I talk a lot about how Botox and fillers, as you can see with some of the celebrities out there, and you're like, wow, I don't know what's going on here, but it's almost like this beauty dysmorphia that's taken over. And I go out and I'm very I talk a lot about how doing these kinds of things can actually make you look a lot older, and
Hmm.
sort of this thought reversal type of content. And a lot of people don't want me to say this kind of stuff. And so it's helped me. That's what I'm saying. And so the more you can receive, the more you can receive. Don't maybe start off like that. Get comfortable with your signature show.
Well, I love I love that you did that because you know what, we actually did another episode on TikTok the other day, and it was really very much about what kind of messaging really gets attention and traction. And it happens to be that the more polarizing your messaging is, the more attention it's going to get, and the more traction it's
Yeah.
going to get.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you have to have that level of bravery, which we already talked about. You absolutely do. and and if you can acknowledge from the
Yeah.
very beginning, hey,
Yeah.
universe, I am open
Yeah.
right now because I am ready to share my message. Therefore, I am open to all the feedback. And then make an agreement with yourself that no matter what, I am safe.
A hundred.
Because it's true. All of these fears that we have, they're really ingrained and we just inherit them from the mitochondria, like you
You don't
said.
want to be kicked out of the
You
tribe.
don't want to be kicked out of the tribe, but that's all an illusion because your tribe is like at home in a small town or big city or whatever, and chances are that the people that are saying anything are not around you. So it's like the truth is that you are safe,
Yeah.
and the more we can remind our subconscious that I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, the better it's going to be and the easier it's going to be when you can make that conscious decision to show up anyways. One day you're not going to care what anyone says. I've had really mean people too, like I love doing my ads because I don't have to be on social media all the time. But some people will say some random weird stuff, and at the beginning, the first time, it's like it kind of hurts your feelings. And you're like, but I work so hard. And you think that my life is perfect, and kind of is, but it hasn't always been that way. And there's no such thing as a perfect life anyway. But you start really, you take it in, you go eat some ice cream, and then you're like, whatever. Now I'm like, I even like their comments when there are any, right? But if you ever have any trolls, ladies, just know that you're on the right track.
100%. And it's feeding the algorithm for you. And it's going to take some polarizing ideas. And we do need to show up and say these things because uh, stuff needs to change in lots of different areas. It needs to change in the beauty industry. It needs to change in the coaching. And I mean,
Oh my God.
coaching industry really needs some changing. And whatever your career is that polarizing idea that does need to get out there. And so I think having the signature show, I mean, I had a live stream show for, I think 5 years ago or something. And so it was that. And like you said, going back and looking at the old stuff, I mean, I think I had like 6 or 7 different areas. I set up my camera in the house, looking at all my like little mini studios until I finally settled on the thing. So, don't beat yourself up. It takes a while. Just keep showing up and feeling confident, knowing that there's always going to be a few people on the other side of that camera that just really need to hear your message. and just, forget the rest and you are safe. I love that.
I love that. It is. It's true. You're safe. And you're right. The coaching industry needs to change. It's like the wild, wild west. And it needs more conscious creators that really do the work themselves first,
Hmm.
and that are consciously creating good stuff, not just from a template somewhere, and just put out and decide all these crazy things. So I really, and that's one of the things that fuels me, because I do work with so many coaches, is the more conscious they are of their coaching and what they're creating and what they're putting out in the world, the more magnetic it is. And the more it brings people towards them, the more light there is in the world.
Yeah.
Charisma knows best. Let's see. She says it's important not to internalize negative comments. Absolutely. A couple of things that I wrote down here that I just to leave you with. We talked a little bit about this, but are your thoughts, as far as like energy shows up on your face regardless? So are your thoughts peaceful or are they fearful? That's going to show up.
Yeah.
Um, who do you surround yourself with? Oh my God, that is really big. Really big.
Really,
If you
really, really
surround yourself with drama queens, you're going to be full of negative energy, and you're going to have more fears. I mean, I just went straight to the point, right? Like, stop surrounding yourself with drama people. Stop being a drama queen yourself, and really know that who you surround yourself with is exactly what you're feeding your energy,
yeah.
and that energy is going to show up right here.
Yeah.
I love on camera because it shows your energy off.
Yeah.
That's why I think it works really well for modern mystics and creatives and good women, because your energy shines whether you have makeup or not.
Yeah, and truly, even with the filters, I have this whole kind of concept about filters actually help you. They can you can use them to become less visible as a protective measure, and
Mm,
even like plastic surgeries and too many injections and things, you could actually be using it to create masks so that you could hide. But then on the other hand, you can use a filter to really express your energy. It
yeah,
just depends. I mean, it's always this like,
and
uh,
it's the intention.
it's the intention, right? I mean, because makeup is a filter, light is a filter. It's just how present you are with your message,
Yeah,
and
I love that.
who the message is for, and just speaking directly to the camera, to that one person who really needs your message.
That's
Because
right.
I know for me, what's at stake for my clients is possibly, saving $100,000 in their lifetime, saving, from not having to have plastic surgery, being able to feel comfortable in their own skin, ripples out into their family life, their marriage,
Everything.
everything.
It's so true. It's
A
so
lot of
true.
a lot at stake.
Yeah. How much do you sleep? Huge. I
Yep.
wrote that down. And also, what do your boundaries look like?
Yeah, because your skin is
Boundaries.
your boundary.
Stop talking shit about yourself. Please, ladies. Stop
Yeah.
saying I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too dark. I'm like, stop it.
Your cells are listening to everything you
Yourself.
say.
Yes. I tell my kids on the way to school every day, we always practice affirmations, and they're like, Mom, do we have to today? But yes, you do. And sometimes my little one will say something like, oh man, today's my spelling test. I suck at this word. We'll practice them. Oh, but I suck at this. And I'm always, listen, kid, your brain's listening,
Yeah.
and it's gonna, whatever you're saying, it's going to make it a reality. So now they're trained to know. What did you just say, Nikki? I know my brain's. So what are you going to tell your brain? I'm going to tell it this, and they say something else. But it's the same with us. Like, whatever we say about ourselves, our cells are listening. Our subconscious is listening. Everyone's beautiful. Everyone has beauty. Everyone, regardless of what your skin looks like, regardless of your color, your shape. God did not create ugliness.
Mm,
Everyone is beautiful. It's all about stepping into your pretty, stepping into your beautiful beauty, acknowledging it, and showing up. That's
yeah,
it.
I couldn't have said it better myself. What you acknowledge, you get more of.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm really excited because we are opening the doors to the Livestream Academy really, really soon. We've been busy behind the scenes, and you are preparing a really amazing, soulful beauty tool for us. It's going to be a bonus, and I've experienced it myself, and I thought it was like, whoa! I've never seen anyone else offer something like this,
It's
and it's
unique.
amazing. I'm so excited to offer it to everyone in there. So thank you so much for preparing that for us, Amy. And
Yeah.
if you want, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, or even like, experience some of your amazing products, I have to say they're like real. And I don't like doing anything either. Like, I like as natural as possible for as long as possible, right? But your products are really amazing. Where can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can find me at higherselfbeauty.com. At my website, you can shop the products. I do custom programs for women, which I'll set you up with a kit of products, maybe a tool like a microcurrent tool or an LED light mask, and then several of my classes that are really like activations. So you can learn the techniques, use them together. So for someone who really needs to have that glow up, maybe for a wedding or a reunion, or, is thinking of maybe I need to go and get a little nip and tuck or some injections, try me first before you do that. I love to help women with that. And then I'm the Skintessa on social media. So I'm pretty active on Instagram and TikTok, actually.
I love it. I'm going to go check you out on TikTok. So
Cool.
thank you, Amy, for being here. And thank you all for joining. I would love to hear if you have any other questions. We usually do this live stream inside of my Facebook group, inside of the Modern Mystic Business Breakthrough. But we are soon launching our podcast. So I'm excited wherever you heard this. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next week with another episode. And stay tuned because we are opening the doors to the live stream and video academy very soon. And you're not going to want to miss out on that. So have an amazing rest of your week, ladies. Love you all. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, everyone.